After over a week of constant Myteam race simulating, I have finally completed 10 seasons of Myteam, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly what happened. Now I'll be going through the World Champions and also the Constructor Champions with driver moves and following some of the driver story arcs of which teams they go to, so on and so forth. That way I don't really bother you with these small little details of who came in 10th in the 4th season, for example. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So in season 1 we had no change with the Drivers' World Championship, with Hamilton getting his 8th world title and becoming the most successful F1 driver of all time. So a big story to all Schumi fans out there. And also the same with the Constructors front, with Mercedes also winning their 8th title. In terms with retirements, the two most experienced drivers in the sport hung up their boots for season 1, with Raikkonen and Alonso both stepping away from the sport. As silly season has now begun, to replace Alonso at Alpine was Antonio Giovinazzi. This left both Alfa Romeo seats open, which in turn left both Williams seats open, as both Russell and Latifi decided to ditch Williams and join the Italian team. As Williams had no drivers for season 2, they decided to go for two rookies in Guan Yu Zhou and Ferrari young driver of Callum Ilott. Now at the end of season 1 we had a regulation change, with the engines being forced to change the energy storage units for season 2, so let's see what this throws up in the air. Now here we are for season 2, and we had a new and Aussie world champion of Daniel Ricciardo. Yes, the new boy at the Papaya team managed to pick Lewis Hamilton by 2 points and Lando by 6 points to get his first world title. And you know what that means as well, with McLaren also winning their first constructor title in over 20 years, giving them a total of 9 constructor titles. I guess Mercedes will think twice in the future about giving McLaren their engines. In terms of driver moves for season 3, we had a big whopping 0. Everyone felt comfortable at their team and decided to stay for another year, so let's bring on season 3. So for season 3 we had yet another McLaren world champion of LANDO NORRIS. So already in this experiment we've had 2 new world champions in just 3 seasons, so hopefully this can carry on throughout the whole of the experiment. For the constructors it was yet again Mercedes for this one, and yeah, you thought it was going to be McLaren, but unfortunately Mercedes managed to pip McLaren for the constructors title, with them finishing in 2nd and 3rd, and managed to pip McLaren to their 9th constructor title. So yet again 2 Mercedes engine cars dominating the championship, so I think kinda Honda and Renault as well as Ferrari kinda need to step it up a little bit. As well, the driver moves for the beginning of next season were a few more than last season, with the first one being Sergio Perez, who decided to retire from the sport as Red Bull aren't as competitive as they once were. And to replace him at the Milton Keynes based team is Antonio Giovinazzi. Yeah, it might seem a bit of a shock, but he actually managed to beat Ocon in his first season at Alpine, and I guess Red Bull thought that was good enough to snatch him up. And to replace Antonio at Alpine was Alpine young driver of Christian Lundgaard. So Alpine decided to go the same route of Red Bull, with bringing fresh young talent through their ranks. And lastly, for the start of season 4, we had another regulation change in their aerodynamic department, meaning the cars will change somewhat for the next season. Here we are for season 4, and I can tell you it gets very interesting near the end, but at the moment I'm going to go through the champions of the season and what went on. And for the Drivers' World Champion for season 4 was once again Lando Norris. He's now a 2-time world champion after Bottas bottled it at the last race with a 23-point gap. Yes, a 23-point gap after he finished 10th and Lando won the race. In terms of the constructors, there is no change there, with Mercedes winning it for the 10th time ahead of McLaren. Once again, as both drivers managed to pull through for Mercedes and Ricciardo slacked off again for McLaren. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the driver moves for next season, and they start off with a retirement. And that retirement is the most successful F1 driver on the grid, which is Lewis Hamilton. After the young Brit of Lando has been winning the past few championships, Lewis has decided he can't take it no more and retired from the sport. This leaves one of the most decorated seats in Formula 1 open, and that seat goes to none other than Sebastian Vettel. Yes, dreamed about in real life has now come true in F1 2021, with the old German taking the lead at the Mercedes team alongside Bottas for season 5. With Vettel leaving Aston Martin, they decided to go with a fellow countryman for their team, which was Callum Ilott. After showing some promise at Williams, they have decided to take him on for season 5. Now the last seat on the grid available is the Williams seat, and they decided to take the Russian of Artem Markelov, who unfortunately decided to leave my team, but I won't say much about that. So that will be it for season 4. Now let's bring on Season 5. We're now at the halfway point for this experiment and it's taken so long to get here with the editing, but we are finally here. So let's go over some of the things which has happened in Season 5 and we'll start off with the Drivers' World Champion. And it is yet another one in the trophy room for Lando Norris winning the Season 5 World Championship, now making him a 3-time World Champion. So there's a possibility he can match Hamilton by the end of this experiment, but we'll have to see. However, he is doing very good at the moment and is pretty much in his prime. For the constructors, it is a double for McLaren as they finish ahead of Mercedes in second, who had a big drop off after Lewis left, with both drivers down the order in the championship. Now for the driver transfers, and we'll start off with the team which has just won the constructors, and it is their driver of Daniel Ricciardo, who has decided to retire from the sport, leaving as a single world champion in his long career. That leaves the door open for a young French superstar who had a spectacular season in the AlphaTauri, which is Pierre Gasly. After finishing third in the championship, McLaren have decided to scoop him up, in which I believe is a very good move by them. And also that leaves the door open for AlphaTauri, with former Williams and Alfa Romeo driver of George Russell joining the Red Bull Academy for Season 6. And the last seat open at the Alfa Romeo team is for the young Brit of Jack Aitken, making his second debut in the sport. With that now over, let's get into Season 6. Season 6 now starts off with something new, as there is a different world champion crowned and first time champ of Max Verstappen. Yes, Super Max has finally done it after 6 seasons and won his first title in the Red Bull. I feel like this could be a new era of dominance with this win, as also Red Bull win the constructors, making it a full sweep in Season 6 for the team. After McLaren have a big drop off, and with Ferrari and AlphaTauri both finding new pace. For the driver moves, it was just a single one and probably the weirdest one I've ever seen in any of the F1 games, and it's Carlos Sainz retiring in Season 6, but the weird part is just about to come up with Sean Gelael replacing him at the Ferrari outfit. Yes, the KFC sponsor boy has just got his sticker slapped on the side of that Scuderia Ferrari. I'm not sure if he had a stellar F2 season and dominated every race, but I would never merit a KFC sponsor logo on the side of that car. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's see what happens in Season 7. We are almost near the end here on Season 7, and we'll just get straight into it with our good friend and now 4-time world champion of Lando Norris, winning it another time in Season 7. Yes, the McLaren team have managed to claw it back after a drop off last season to get another driver's title as well as a constructor's title, as they get a 1-2 in the championship, with Gasly finishing not far behind Lando in the standings. Now for the driver moves for Season 7, and we'll start off with our KFC sponsor boy of Sean Gelael, who, as you would know, signed for Ferrari last season. Well, it only managed to last a single season with him being sacked and then moving to Alpine. And now you're thinking, oh, Ocon must have signed for Ferrari. Well, that's wrong also. It was the AlphaTauri driver of George Russell. Yeah, he's stepping into the red overalls for the next season after a stellar couple of seasons in the AlphaTauri team. And then therefore, Ocon has decided to join the AlphaTauri team in his bid to prove himself for a top seat. Let's bring on Season 8. After one of the closest championships I've seen in this experiment so far, young gun and now double world champion of Max Verstappen won the Season 8 Drivers' World Championship after beating Bottas by 14 points in the last race, and in third Gasly by 23 points. It was also the same for the constructors, where Mercedes managed to edge it out to win their 11th title, beating McLaren by only 2 points and Red Bull by 15 points. So a very close championship between the top 3 teams. In terms of driver transfers, and we had just one, and it was at the midway point, with our 2 times being fired in 1.5 seasons friend of Sean Gelael, who was swapped with Nicholas Latifi in the Alfa Romeo, as I think Alpine realised even Latifi is a better option than him. And lastly, for Season 9, we had a regulation change on the aerodynamic department, so hopefully this can mix things up a little. I thought last season was close, but this was something else, with the top 7 separated by only 18 points and the top 3 separated by just 1 point. Yes, 2 drivers missed out on the title by 1 point, which would have been a faster slap at any of the races this season. But I'll get into the champions for Season 9, and it's the Orange Army's commander of Max Verstappen, getting his 3rd title in total and his 2nd in a row. I said the Red Bull dominance would come, and in the past few seasons he's starting to come through, but they unfortunately didn't manage to win the constructors because they missed out by a single point to McLaren, and it just shows how close Season 9 championship was. Now for the last driver transfers for Season 10, the last season of this experiment, and it starts off with another weird one, and it's Yuki Tsunoda retiring from F1 after being the youngest driver on the grid. He even retired before Sebastian Vettel, who is still going at Mercedes. To replace Yuki at AlphaTauri is the Canadian of Nicholas Latifi, who seems to be a bit of a midfield maestro with a lot of teams signing him up in the past few seasons. And that therefore left the seat open at Alpine, and he was replaced by the Brit of Dan Ticktum, finally getting his shot in Formula 1 after being an F2 for 11 years now, making him 32 years old. And with that out of the way, let's get into the last season. Well, we come on to the last season, and to be honest, I wish I didn't, because I managed to complete all of the seasons and the last race and came across one of the biggest bugs on this game, as it happened to wipe all my career mode saves, including this one. I don't have a clue how it happened. I'll show it on screen just to show you. To be honest, I am very annoyed as I didn't get to record the ending or show the sort of standings after the career mode and all the stats and stuff. But yeah, I guess these type of things happens. But we'll go on to the champion of season 10. I did manage to get that, and it was Antonio Giovinazzi. So it is a good one to end on, with him winning his first title in the last season of this experiment. And then also Red Bull won the constructors just ahead of Ferrari in second. But anyway, I do apologise if I sound a bit annoyed, but all that work just to go through at the end and then all get wiped out for no reason. And I'm pretty annoyed at my offline career orders being wiped as well. I was just on the end as well as that on the end of season 1, so yeah, I'm a bit annoyed at them just being wiped out. I've submitted a ticket on their forum just so they know, and hopefully none of you come across it if you're actually doing a real 10 seasons of career mode or whatever without simulating. I don't want you to come across that sort of bug. So yeah, I've submitted a ticket. Hopefully they can fix that soon. And yeah, it's quite annoying that this has happened, but I just want to say thank you for watching all of this video if you've got to the end and managed to realize what has happened at the end. But I just want to thank you all for watching. This video took quite a while to make, about 2 weeks to make, so I do hope you all enjoy it, and I'll probably just see you in the next one.